But I also see the likelihood of we're going to wipe through students. We're going to wipe through students. So, you know, the first row of the year, we'll start out with ground, zero and build up for that. The others is all the next. Potentially go to the White House. Potentially. And that's, I mean, we see that eventually, but we know we get it. Statistically, we're going to get it. So the first order of the year was always within it.
So finals, in other words, whether they contribute or not.
Let's go.
Denver, elected all the
You're taking that.
This finals by virtual and finals already.
We've made no decision on that. The committee doesn't want this. Because they think there's enough in your line as it is. We don't need to know.
Because if they were in your house, we had a conference call with people who said, we're gonna look at it later if it goes fine. Yeah.
I found it.
You know, I mean, they were pretty clear about it.
Well, I married
Well, the only reason that I'm personally, we were partners with that,
And then they were real good at that.
first row.
It's kind of like this year, there's
Right, that's what we see what we get.
Is there a nice student number?
I'm kind of working too, so I'm thinking. Oh, wait a minute, you see this now? That is work. Do you see that? I am in my HPEs. I'm working twice. I'm doing my advice and my HPEs.
It's 1 o'clock. He's looking at what he just decided.
I'm in a meeting right now. I said I'm in a meeting right now. It's not a good time.
Now 1 o'clock, a quorum of the board is present. I reconvene this board of directors meeting of the International Gay Rodeo Association. I ask us to express our gratitude to Roger Jack. Thank you, Roger.
Certainly good.
There are snacks remaining, bagels, muffins, soft drinks, water over in the cooler if you'd like to help yourself throughout the afternoon. One programming note I neglected to mention earlier, and I apologize. We currently have a vacancy on the Executive Board of Directors that we need to fill in the Board of Trustees. So we're going to change the order of meetings today so that the Executive Board will follow the Board of Trustees so that the Executive Board can meet with a full complement when the time comes. So the Board of Trustees will follow the conclusion of the Board of Directors meeting. I will recall the World Gay Rodeo Finals Committee.
Right. Although the recommendation of our committee was not approved by this body earlier, we have conference during your lunch break. And would propose, based on what we heard from individuals in here, that the 2017 finals be held in Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is our choice, but without the recommendation of the committee.
Is there a motion that Albuquerque be the site of the 2017 World Gay Rodeo Finals? I have a
Second.
motion and a second.
Who's second?
Merlin. Is there discussion on the motion? And I do need the timer, please. Thank you. Is there any discussion on the motion? There being no discussion, all in favor of the motion to have the World Gay Rodeo Finals in 2017 in Albuquerque, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The motion passes. The World Gay Rodeo Finals of 2017 will be in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we appreciate the extra work of the committee in handling that for us. I have no old business before the Board of Directors. Am I missing anything at this point? Very well. We'll proceed to the consideration of rodeo applications for approval. We have 5. They are from AGRA, TGRA, FGRA, DSRA, and GSGRA Greater Palm Springs Chapter. We may take them as a block or individually. What is your will? Lisa?
Make a motion to take them separately.
It is the motion that we handle them individually. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on that motion? None appearing, all in favor? Excuse me, Bruce Roby?
Is there a reason for
I
not
have some
accepting all?
questions on one of the applications.
Can you pull that one?
Yeah.
Can we just pull that one?
We want to?
The motion's been made. Let's just act on the motion.
Okay.
All in favor of the motion to handle them individually, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
Nay.
The motion is defeated. The request is, can we pull the one that you have questions about? That one being,
FGRA.
is there any objection to holding FGRA for individual consideration? There being none, we'll proceed with the consideration of AGRA, TGRA, DSRA, GSGRA, Greater Palm Springs Chapter. All in favor of the approval of those 4 applications, excuse me, is there any discussion? She did. Is there any discussion on those 4? Now, all in favor of approving those 4 applications, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and rodeos are approved for AGRA, TGRA, DSRA, and GSGRA Greater Palm Springs Chapter. Now, with regard to the application for FGRA, you're on.
Okay, I had a question on, they haven't had a rodeo in the last 2 years, and I didn't see a
No,
budget.
last year.
Did you have a rodeo?
No, we didn't last year.
Okay.
That's the only one we missed.
The application, where it says, did you hold a rodeo in the last 2 years, it says, or, yes, or has it been 2 years? But in fact, it will be 2+ years, full years before you have a rodeo.
Oh,
In other words,
okay, I got you.
The intent of the application would have been if you've skipped 2 years, we want to see that. Is that the point?
That is correct.
Okay. And you did not include a budget.
Mhm.
So, that is the status of the application. That being the case.
And my question was about the budget, because if you didn't have a rodeo within the last 2 years, you're supposed to drop down to the next 2 questions, and one of them was the budget. And then I got concerned when you said y'all would use your reserves. Well, I hate, so I'm just concerned. And I
Would you
know,
like to address that?
Yeah,
part
I'll
first?
address that. I think we misinterpreted that, and that's why it wasn't included. I have, I can get you a budget, that's no problem. The situation is, the reason we put the application in, the reason it's TBD on a lot of stuff is because we have an arena that we were looking at. If we get that arena, then we will probably do the rodeo. If we don't, we probably will not do one next year. But we won't know that for a couple of weeks. Our annual meeting is on the 23rd. Our rodeo directors are appointed, and it's gonna be a brand new board. So we can't put a rodeo director down until we have the meeting on the 23rd, and that's appointed, and that's why we don't have that. Our annual meeting should have been in June, and we wouldn't have had this problem, but it turns out the time that we had our meeting scheduled was Pride weekend in either St. Pete or Tampa, I can't remember. It just was not a good time to go again, so we had to change it to July. So that's why everything's kind of not a whole lot on there. If this arena isn't something we can do, then we probably will not have one. That's the date we knew that they had availability for it. And it may be we can find something else. If not, we just will withdraw the application. So.
And the crux of the matter for us is that based on the way our rules are structured, this is their only opportunity to present an application for our approval under the normal structure of our rules. So if we accept their application today and give them approval, we've got their $700. If in 2 weeks they're not going to hold a rodeo, we would know, but we're still keeping the $700. Guy, I believe I saw your hand first.
I was gonna make a motion. I move that we contingently approve this request with the stipulation that it not be published on the calendar until they confirm their venue.
Can we be a little more
Yeah.
specific on the confirming of the venue part? Let's provide a time frame by which.
That would be up to Barbara. I don't wanna just put one out there that's not reasonable.
I think we could probably confirm it by the end of August.
By August 31st.
Okay. If I have heard correctly, we are about to consider a motion to approve FGRA's rodeo request contingent on their confirming a venue before August 31st and not to publish it until such time as it has been confirmed. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, by contingent, I assume that approved means approved, meaning that the money stays in our bank.
It's
Okay.
already there.
Okay.
It's not that fundamental.
But all we're doing is we're giving you the opportunity to finalize that before we put it out there and let get you.
And not-
That's a point of order, I think.
Sure.
I think. But if he's making a motion that's contingent, it's contingent on all sides, as far as the money goes and the publishing, because part of the benefit of getting a rodeo approved is publishing on the website. I'm just not sure that the motion's in order, and we've had this discussion several years ago over other rodeos. It's either we're gonna either approve it or we're not gonna approve it.
Okay.
And all the benefits come to both sides for that.
The point of order is well taken in that we're attempting to do something that's not conceived of in our rules. We do have a rule that says that the annual convention can direct the board of directors to consider an application out of time. But that would mean then that we can't give approval for this rodeo until November following the close of annual convention. Okay? So that is the reality of the structure of our rules. The understanding I have is that this is governed by the bylaws and not the standing rules. Is that correct? I'm not looking at it right now, so anybody know the answer to that?
Yes.
I think
One way or
that's
the other.
correct.
Okay. So standing rules we have latitude with, bylaws we basically do not have latitude with. So,
But I think my point of order was that we were going to allow a motion that made it, I don't know what words to use, but made it beneficial to IGRA and punish the association.
very well.
Punish.
Well, having misunderstood your order, disregard what I just said.
Right, and that's what. Because you can't take away a benefit if you're gonna approve it.
What I understand is that you believe the motion to be defective and that it should address the point of the money.
Can I rephrase the motion?
Absolutely.
Since it hasn't been said. I move to approve FGRA's rodeo application with the caveat that they do not publish it on the calendar until they confirm their venue, period. The only reason I'm doing that is I don't think we should put any more rodeos out there on the calendar and then turn around and cancel them. I don't think it looks good.
We
This
have
is
no
nothing about
problem.
punishment or making them judge release. This is about
We have
perception.
absolutely no problem with that. We just wanted to be able to get the date in, if we could have it, since it would be November, so we have no problem.
Gene wanted to address his frustration with the motion as it stands, he's put his hand down. Tom?
Sorry, I have two questions. One, what city would it be in if in fact you had a rodeo? And number two, why wouldn't you go back to Bergeron?
Okay. Interesting questions, not pertinent to the issue on the floor, which is whether or not we're gonna second this motion. We may get to that, Tom.
Okay.
Is there a second to the motion to approve the FGRA rodeo application with the caveat that it not be published until confirmed? And I believe I heard an ample second. Is there discussion on the motion?
Yes.
Ron's hand is up first, so he gets to go first.
I just want to go back when you said bylaw or standing rule. It is a standing rule.
Excellent.
I said bylaw, but it also, in the standing rule, to point out something, section 7 of Rule 12, rodeos shall be sanctioned by the Board of Directors, and then it tells when, but then it's kind of confusing. Then we approve at convention our calendar.
Sure. Well, we're on approving
Right.
the application, which is
Right.
effectively sanctioning.
Yeah. And of course, there's nothing about contingent approval.
Okay.
Anyway.
I will observe that the rule as I see it written does not require it at a regular Board of Directors meeting, which I had understood it to be. Am I missing something there?
Rodeo shall be sanctioned by the Board of Directors.
Okay. Having said that, then we have the opportunity to conduct a special Board of Directors meeting to do that at a later time. The motion is to approve the FGR application caveat, with the caveat that it not be published until confirmed. It has been seconded. Is there any discussion, Gene?
As long as FGRA is okay with this and the possibility, I mean, because of them losing their $700, representing an association who almost was in this situation now 2 years in a row, where we would have lost our $700. Fortunately, that hasn't happened, but I really have a problem with making motions like this that, in my view, limits the benefits to the association until they do something else that nobody else has to do. And if I just come in here with a budget and stuff and say I'm gonna do a rodeo on this date, and for example, like I did this past year for this year's rodeo in North Star, it gets approved, and if I'd had to cancel it last week, I would have had to cancel it last week, period. I still lost my $750, but you advertised it all year long. So singling out this one application really doesn't sit well with me for those reasons. I mean, you can't guarantee it's gonna happen. If they can give you a city, then it should be published, whether they have to cancel it or not.
Thank you, Gene. Any other discussion? Ron?
I think that, and I'm not speaking in opposition to the motion or in favor either right now, but I think that if it's approved contingently, then considered later or final approval or however we're gonna do it, the budget's gonna need to be in place so it can be posted again for review by the board at least 14 days in advance according to the requirements to be a complete application.
I appreciate your opinion on that. That is not what the motion reflects, but thank you for bringing it up. Is there any further discussion of the motion at this time?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Will there be two choices, one to vote on this and one to vote just to, as is?
You know, you can certainly do whatever you want after this motion is done.
Okay.
Okay. As long as it's not doing this motion again.
Okay.
All right, any other discussion on the motion? The motion is to approve the FGRA application with the caveat that the date not be published until confirmed. All in favor of the motion?
Wait.
Can I ask a question?
You sure
So,
can.
if you contingency approve it, and then we don't get this arena and we cancel, we lose the $750.
The motion does not address it as contingent, and it doesn't address what happens to the money. My answer based on the motion before us is yes. we keep the money.
And I might
Can,
add, it's not 750, it's 700. If you want to up the
well,
price.
700. So can we delay that vote for a minute and give me a chance to go back to my association?
I have no problem with passing to other business and Tom.
'Cause
So you need a motion to table? You're gonna table my comments, but I will make a motion after this motion is finished that you do not pay that money.
You already did.
We
You already
did.
paid it, it's already in the
Alright.
bank. It can be refunded.
If there's no objection, we will table the motion till later in the meeting and call it back after Barbara has an opportunity to consult her association. We will now proceed to consideration of the board meeting schedule for 2017. And Ron, would you like to start that for us, please, with the information that we've received?
Yes, we received information. The SRA is interested in hosting a board meeting April 28th, CGRA July 7th, NMGRA August 20th. And then, of course, we have that annual convention date to be determined.
And while it is not required that we hold the board meeting in conjunction with IGRA University, it has been our practice and we don't have a conflicting invitation. Please note that CGRA and NMGRA would be two requests for the same quarterly meeting, the third quarterly meeting. And so unless there's another party interested in hosting, we would need to decide among those two which we prefer to hold the board meeting at. Given the information that we have, is there any other association who wishes to step forward and extend an invitation to host a 2017 Board of Directors meeting? Tom?
I apologize. Can Ron give me those dates again slowly?
Sure.
If we did it at a university, as has been, it would be January 13th, DSRA April 28th, CGRA July 7th, and MGRA August 20th. Then convention that's required on Thursday, date to be determined.
Thank you.
So given what has been offered to us, is there anyone who wishes to offer a motion that would cover all of the proposed board meetings, stipulating one choice over the other between CGRA and NMGRA?
Okay.
Ron?
Okay, I'll move because I like this. I move that the board meetings be IGRA University, January 13, DSRA, April 28, NMGRA, August 20th, and convention, date to be determined.
Is there a second to that motion?
A second.
Thank you, Candy. Is there any discussion on the motion? Do you want to discuss it, Ron?
If I can just say my piece.
Absolutely.
And the only reason that I did it that way is to try to keep as equal this amount of time between the meetings as possible. In July, if we, at CGRA would be so far away from convention, and NMGRA would be closer is my main reason for doing that.
Lisa?
That's also a good point, if, to have it in New Mexico, which might venture a trip to another city in New Mexico to look at the finals area.
Very good thinking. Frank?
Did you say August 20th, 2017?
That is what he said. Is that not
Is that
correct?
not right?
I had that as a Sunday.
Can we,
Oh, let me look right here. On the 2017 event schedule, the date's August 18th through the 20th.
Yeah.
You said the 20th.
20th is Sunday.
Oh.
Would be the 18th.
all right.
That-
So we'll correct the error in the motion. Thank you, Frank, for noting that. We do have the motion. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of the proposal to have the 2017 Board of Directors meeting at IGRA University on January 13th, at DSRA April 28th, at NMGRA on August 18th, and at the IGRA convention date to be determined, say aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and that is where we're going and when. We will proceed with, well, the next item is the 2017 Annual Convention interest expressed by DSRA. DSRA is not expected to present a full proposal to the board at this time, but if you'd like to at least give us some overview or whatever of your desire to host the convention.
Between Sandy and I, we found a diamond in the rough in Little Rock, and it's called the Holiday Inn Conference Center. And they have everything that you need or want convention-wise. They have two restaurants, they have a bar, they have overflow, hotels, right across the Holiday Inn Express, which is right there by the airport too. It's a good thing to have. I mean, I don't, that's for university.
Actually, when we went to see this, we had no idea that their remodeling had been as extensive as it has. I mean, there are rooms for board meetings, there are classrooms, there's anything that you could possibly want, and if you really are desperate, you can walk to the airport from there. So you get off the airport, take a shuttle, you're there 3 minutes, and back to the airport. They have trolley car rides, they have shuttles, and anything else that, actually, all we had to do is say, do you? They said yes before we finished. So we're really pleased with it, and we would love for it to be considered, yes, sir.
So there's enough rooms for the committee meetings on Friday?
There's enough rooms for 1,800 committee room meetings. It's beautiful.
He has like 12 to 15 meeting rooms.
Okay.
He's got like suites that he's throwing in a suite here. I mean, the guy's just.
It's 2-story suites, so if you want to party downstairs while the others sleep upstairs, I mean, it's gorgeous.
Well, of course, we'll look at the particulars of the
Yes.
meeting space.
Oh, and the price is good too.
Yeah. But the key thing for us having it on the agenda today is so that we know that we have viable options ready to be presented at the convention for consideration, so that we don't end up in the same position we're in this year. Now, once again, I'll ask, is there anyone else who's interested in creating a proposal for 2017 convention to bring to this year's convention?
I have a question. What would the proposed dates be?
Lisa, dates?
Ooh. I didn't, he had November of 2017.
It's all open
Yes,
at this
uh-huh.
point.
All right. We will want to go ahead and identify some dates and have them at least block them for
I
us.
think we did, but
Okay, all right. And just to remind you, the process is, anybody who's contemplating putting forward a bid for 17 or 18 needs to submit that bid in writing 60 days prior to the convention to the Executive Board of Directors. The Executive Board of Directors has to establish the delegate fee for everybody, which I think will actually try to take up today because we're supposed to do it in advance of the proposals. So that you know how much you can plan on from IGRA. The delegate fee currently is $125 per delegate. And then whether you presented a written proposal to the board or not, you may still present at the convention for 17 and or for 18. And if no one presents or no proposal is accepted for 17, then it falls back to IGRA to plan the convention for itself. We're not really that interested in taking that responsibility if the associations want to. While we're talking about 17 now, this is the year, the convention at which we're supposed to make decisions for 18. So we really need somebody to, decide that their association would like to vie for the opportunity to host us in 18 and get that to the convention for consideration this November. Otherwise, we're a year behind. And that limits us and costs us more. So there's no action to be taken today other than information. Is there anything further, Lisa, that you want to share on your anticipated bid?
no, all I'm gonna say is they are so anxious to host, whether it be convention, university, our rodeo, finals, they're out there.
Oh, 15% off in the bar.
Now, turning our attention to 28 University, we have received an interest expressed from DSRA. Is this the same hotel?
Exactly.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
that good, guys.
And this was sent to everyone?
No,
Okay.
because I didn't know we were going to detail, I just asked them to send that.
Okay.
To review.
All right, thank you. And I also have interest expressed from OGRA, soon to be GPRA in our eyes, but you know.
There's preliminary friends votes.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't type anything out.
That's all
I
right,
have everything
that's all
going on. We were thinking about University happening at the Havana Inn. They're redoing all the rooms. They're tossing out all the furniture. They're getting new furniture. Those who are at the hotel, needless to say, some of y'all got some of the new stuff because they've only done 30 rooms out of the 280. So, classrooms for free, hotels like $106 a night. We have the restaurant there for banquet. If not, we have the boom upstairs up the hill that we can have banquet and stuff in. So they will literally clear out the rooms. We can set the rooms any way we want, anything like that for us. And then also to get more of a calling card, to get people more interested, we offer several different other things at that time that people could take part in. We also have the International Finals Rodeo going on at the same time. If you like museums, you can go to the National Gallery Hall of Fame going on. Or if you like sporting events, we have NBA. Or if you want to go gamble, there's a casino 5 miles down the road. We have it all there in Oklahoma.
This slip doesn't give anticipated dates, right?
Whenever you want, I'll make it happen.
Well, now, you did say that the IFR was in town, so that kind of suggests that there's a particular date you have in mind.
It's always
What was your last?
the same days as our university for the second week.
Yes, it's generally that holiday weekend.
Yeah. It's always the same way, because I always come to the board meeting and then drive all the way up so I get my VIP pass and go sit in the drink and watch the radio.
I'm just saying, I'm looking for dates.
Good. As I said, I didn't know how to have any information. I was getting everything ready for convention.
It benefits us to make a decision about university sooner rather than later. If we want to do it as the full board, we need to do it today. Schedule a full board of directors meeting specifically to consider the two proposals from the associations, or hold it over to convention. What's your pleasure in that regard? Or delegate it to the executive board. For university, decision for university. Do you wish to make that decision today, hold it over to the November meeting, schedule a special meeting, or delegate it to the executive board of directors?
Do it today.
All right. Candy says, do it today. Frank, are you ready to present fully your proposal?
Not fully, but we can go for it.
All right. We'll give you a few minutes to recollect yourself and be ready while we give DSRA the opportunity to present your proposal to us.
Yeah, you got it. She's got it.
Well, I thought everybody was gonna get a copy of the letter, but
Well, no, and that's my fault, because I didn't understand we're supposed to have full proposals today. It was just interest, so.
well, I'm gonna read you what we proposed to the board. Okay. The Diamond State Rodeo Association, located in the great state of Arkansas, would like to offer the city of Little Rock for your location for 2018 IGRA University. The SRA is partnered with the Holiday Inn Conference Center in Little Rock, and having events such as IGRAU is ideal. The Holiday Inn has recently renovated their complex and offers beautiful and state-of-the-art meeting and sleeping rooms. Yeah. And I will expand right now on sleeping rooms. They've packed them in there with all your conveniences that you need, except for the trip, the bodies. That you can.
You have to bring your own.
Bring your, okay. Located within the conference center is Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar, which will be offering food and drink specials. They are amenities to fit the university's need. They will always have plenty of vodka.
That was for you.
Listed below is the Holiday Inn's offering to IGRA. Rooms at $84 a night with breakfast.
That's a full breakfast.
Full breakfast. One comp sleeping room per 20 and complimentary hospitality room. Will not charge for the breakout meeting rooms. That's classrooms. 6 screens for rooms will be $313.92. 50 banquet deli sub meals, that could be, he asked me what kind of meal do we normally have for the Sunday afternoon banquet, and last year we had deli meals, and I thought that would go well again. Those are at $1,000.82.
That's $20 essentially per person.
Cookies and sodas each break at $176.73, which comes to a total of $353.76. He will not charge for the ballroom price if you do lunch and both breaks. The ballroom itself is $2,000. In other words, if there's a dance, if you need the ballroom and we do the meals, he won't charge us the $2,000.
And the meals are about $1,000.
For the banquet on Sunday only, that's the only meal that's part of.
Well,
the
and he's talking to cookies and sodas.
And the 2
Yeah.
breaks.
But
So it'd be
You're not talking about lunch on Saturday.
$1,350 for meals and the ballroom. Dance floor and stage will be complimentary in the ballroom. Bartender fee at $50 instead of the usual $150. And then he priced the wine at $6, beer $4, premium beer $5, and premium mixed drinks at $7. What a deal. Okay, the Holiday Inn Conference Center is nestled directly across I-440 from the Little Rock Airport. Yes, you could just about throw a rock in the lobby. You are 5 minutes away from the Little Rock River Market, Clinton Library, downtown sites, and much, much more. 2 of the gay bars, Sway and the New 16, are downtown. Chaps is 10 minutes away in Dogtown, and our disco and show bars might be 12 minutes away from the hotel. Just a stone's throw away.
And that's one of our local beers, by the way.
What?
Stone's throw.
Stone's throw away from most anything. Little Rock is a great place to have the IGRA, and we are proud to offer it for consideration. If it's a party you want, DSRA will order extra vodka, call in the DJ, and have a hall calling time. Between the Holiday Inn Conference Center and DSRA, we are aiming to please. We will order great weather and throw in some moonshine to boot. Thank you for your consideration and time, Sandy.
Bear in mind that they are going to offer a very similar proposal for university, which would be 2 months prior to this date we're considering now.
So you can vodka and moonshine yourself to death.
So my question to DSRA is, presuming that IGRA might give you one but not both, which of the 2 would you most desire?
Yes, trustee. We want them both.
And presuming that we'll give you one, which one would you pick as your first choice?
I'm leaving that to the trustee.
That's a tough one because we want our people to get to university.
Sure.
That's our goal. Because they,
Oklahoma City's 5 hours away.
I know.
You know how those Arkansans, they can't drive it far.
That's right.
I promise
Some
I'll keep
reason.
it down.
Yeah, just a general comment. We have 2 excellent proposals. Why don't they decide among themselves first, and then we vote? We have a university, we have a convention, we are in Havana Inn, we're in Little Rock. Let them talk first.
I don't have any problem with you guys having a little moment to yourselves if you want to work
Meet
that
you
out, Frank.
outside.
And we're done.
Go.
Well,
No,
this
not
is-
with Frank.
It's bloody.
Frank?
I have a comment dealing with convention. Little Rock is close enough that I will be able to supply most of the AV equipment. So, if we were to pick someplace on the East Coast for a convention, then that's a major portion of funding that had to come from someplace that I couldn't supply. About the only thing I can't supply are the screens.
And just bear in mind that, you know, we're only anticipating what we might do about convention. But,
Exactly.
Frank, in order to more or less make sure that we're on equal footing and so that we can ask questions about your proposed proposal, let's go ahead and hear from you before we excuse you guys to talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. When I talk, because I'm doing this kind of off the hips, I have to stand up. Okay. So, Oklahoma City University, great place to be. January's 13th, 14th, and 15th at the largest resort in the Southwest, gay resort in the Southwest. The Havana Inn, 3 clubs, 1 restaurant located in the center of Boys Town, Gay Town, just 27 blocks away from the arena where you can watch live our finals. Or if that's not your thing and you want to watch beauty pageants, as some of our royalty contestants might at their game, we also have the Miss Rodeo America pageant going on. For those who like museums, we also offer Cowboy Hall of Fame, Old Memorial Bombing. We also have the National Reining Horse Association Museum there. For those who are thrill seekers, we have gambling, mini casinos all the way around. We're Indian country. Indians, we play casinos. And that's basically it. Also, room rate $69 a month. I mean, $69 a day. $69 a day. All the rooms are being redone as we speak. New mattresses, new linens, new paints, new everything throughout them all. All the conference rooms basically are just me rooms that have in the process of being renovated with the paints. They're just going to leave out the furniture until we're done with it, so we can move, rearrange everything, no cost. So dance floor, we got the finish line. If we want to do a dance competition, not needed. As for menus and stuff like that for banquet, we have the Lido, the restaurant there in the hotel. Plus we also have another option of the Boom upstairs. Both meals are probably going to run you about the same, $15, $20, but they would cater to what we want. We have full choice, full reign, basically the whole entire complex.
Frank, I'm not familiar with the meeting room spaces that are available at that facility.
What it is, they're going to wipe out the whole side over here by the finish line. All the rooms right there, they're going to take out all the furniture and everything, so each classroom would be a room just right over there to the side.
Yeah, my understanding is that these rooms will basically be the size of a sleeping room, and no rooms will be joined together to make larger rooms.
Correct.
So maybe 20 people capacity.
For your classrooms there, yes.
Okay.
As for like meeting space and everything like that, for like here, we can do that down at, there's several options. We can do it down at the Copa, the whole big dance floor just set up there for have our board meetings.
Michael?
So for the Havana to have convention would.
University.
Oh, yeah, okay, this is, okay, never mind, okay.
Yeah, we're not putting in a bid for convention, just
Okay.
university.
Okay.
Because we're thinking it's going to be about 50 to 75 people.
Michael has got the floor, followed by Ron, followed by Candy.
I'm done.
Okay, Ron?
Franklin?
Yes, sir.
I think you answered the question, but, well, two-part question, I guess. First, have you considered any other venue other than Havana?
We have considered like the Biltmore over there for that one. But as we said, IFR's in town.
Okay.
So there, it's all the hotels, even where we're closed or around that, are jammed hard.
Okay, and my second question, and I want to preface this, not that I ever knew anything about what Havana was like before. I've heard rumors from some people, but has that changed?
Yes, it has.
Okay.
They have added additional security throughout the
It's more
parking lot.
like a regular
Hotel.
now.
Mhm.
Good, that's what I needed to hear.
Andy?
Now he's gonna vote against it.
No.
What is the, do they have a finish date of when they're gonna have all the renovation done?
The whole renovation, they're thinking of their spring of 18. As I said, there's 280 rooms. So he's going just
We
a
need
few
like
at a month.
50 tops.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, in answer to the unspoken question.
Spring of 18 or spring of 17?
18.
Spring of 18.
Well, that's after university.
That's what I'm saying. He'll have those rooms emptied for us to use for meeting rooms, for classrooms. And then we'll be, as soon as we're finished, then he'll come back in there and finish it all up.
Okay, but the people staying, the rooms people staying in?
We'll already be done.
Okay.
Lisa, I believe you had your hand?
Well, I did want to shoot DSRA in the foot, because we had first began talking with OGRA and being a joint university type deal, we would go help him.
Okay.
And, so if that's what happens, we will still help him, keep him organized and inspect the rooms.
And all snacks will be taken care of, so that's no cost there.
Are there any questions about either of the two proposals? All right, we'll let you two go talk amongst yourselves and see if you want to provide a unified vision to us or not. And if you do, we'll take that into consideration. If not, we'll make a choice. So we'll let you guys do that, and I see that we can return to Barbara Budd. Ms. Budd?
FGRA is going to withdraw their application.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'll cut you a check.
All right.
If you don't, I will.
Tom?
Am I allowed to make a motion?
Absolutely.
I would like FGRA to be refunded their money.
The motion is to refund the $700 application fee for the withdrawn application. Is there any discussion? Second. We already got one. Thank you, Terry. Any discussion? Not appearing, all in favor of refunding the money, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The motion carries. The ayes have it. The money will go back.
Was David saying I'll cut you a check on the money?
He was saying that, but you know, the motion was made. We'll deal with it. It's fine. Normally, I would think if you withdraw your application before that, I'm sure in good faith give you back the money, but now you know for sure you get it. Okay? Thank you. Does FGRA anticipate possibly returning with an application?
Yes.
Thank you. My understanding of the rule is that we can consider an application at a special board of directors meeting. And if I'm right on that, then that should make your life a little simpler. Yes.
We had a meeting.
Great. What did you
We had a meeting and DSRA will withdraw their university offer.
Thank you. We have a proposal in concept from OGRA to host the 2018 university, as you heard described by Frank. Is there a motion?
So moved.
What is your motion?
To choose OGRA for 2018 university.
Thank you, Terry. Is there a second? I see Tom Lott's hand. Is there any discussion on the motion to accept 2018 university at OGRA, Michael?
Can we specify the exact date so that we can communicate back to our folks?
We certainly can, Terry. January 13 to 15 was the proposed date. Is that part of your motion? Very well, thank you. Any further discussion? All right, go ahead.
So, I don't think we talked about room rates.
$69
a night.
Covering through.
Is that not funny? Sorry.
Lucky number.
What I've been doing is I've been talking to the owners and stuff like that, but we've had like pride and everything going, so it's always been a conversation like, hey, everybody, yeah, okay, cool. So I'm actually gonna go back to him and sit down and try to get it cheaper than that, but right now it's $69 a night, no matter what.
And how many days on either side of the dates would we have that?
Yeah. As far as I know, yeah, I'll make sure that happens.
We're looking for how many days, or how many days would you like him to go
Well,
for?
traditionally, they do it from Wednesday to Wednesday.
3 days before and 3 days
Okay.
after.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the goal,
Okay.
is to get that rate or a better rate guaranteed from Wednesday. to
Yep,
Wednesday.
and I should get that in the next week or two.
Very well, thank you, Frank. Is there any further discussion on the motion? If there's no further discussion on the motion, then the motion is to approve the OGRA request to host university in 2018, January 13 to 15 at Havana Inn, according to the discussion that was presented. Any, all in favor say aye. Very few weak ayes, okay. All opposed say nay. More weak ayes than nays, the ayes have it. We're going to OGRA, soon to be GPRA, in January 13 to 15 and 2018.
Yes.
Great. We will now proceed to IGRA awards voting. And Ron, will you please share with us the names of the nominees?
Okay, and this is all on your ballot that you got to. Colin Smith, a.k.a. Black Bart, Jacob Griffin, Janie Van Santen, Jeff Germany, Kevin McSweeney, a.k.a. Pussy LaHoot, Madison Devereaux, a.k.a. Mason Lyon, Megan Fallon, and Michael Butts.
May I ask if we know if any of those have previously received the international award?
I don't believe so. The only one that I'm not sure of is if Kevin has. But I don't think he has.
Did you not get the one that's in?
For the international award,
International.
this is the one that's
We
elected
sent-
by this board of
You
directors.
said trustees and appreciation.
No, I'm a trustee and I sent in some
We have,
people's names.
Or
for the
international.
international.
For contestants.
That's trustees.
Right.
That's
Oh.
the trustee,
Okay,
okay.
all right. If you
Okay,
wanna-
you're on there.
If you want to make sure that he's got those names on that.
Never mind.
They're on there.
All right, got it. We're just making sure we're on the right award, because we got 3 of them to get done by different groups.
She's still in Oklahoma.
It's okay. I'll borrow one of these ballots for a second. All right. The bylaws specify that we will provide 5 of these awards, although we have not necessarily followed that in the past. There are 8 names provided for consideration. Barring any other action, the instruction will be to take this ballot, mark up to 5 names, and then the top 5 vote getters would be the recipients of the award. Having said that, if you'll please pass out the ballots. All members and alternates of the board of directors may vote.
Yeah, hey, getting easier. You handed me 2, I didn't take 2. Oh, wait! Then I didn't get one at all.
Sam, may I ask you to serve along with Robin as tellers for this count? Gene?
Usually we don't announce them.
Well, I still need to get them counted, in case we have a tie among the 5.
Can, I mean, I don't remember from past years, so you'll just have to entertain me here. But does everybody know who all these people are?
I have no idea who Jeff is.
I do.
I don't know.
Anybody give a little?
I met him once.
I can tell you who they
At the
are,
cabana?
information.
All right.
Thank you.
We don't generally provide somebody the opportunity to kind of politic on their behalf, but if there is anybody who wishes to ask about a specific person, what they've done or anything like that, by all means, if you need clarification. Would you please read the criteria for the awards?
Yes.
Who's taking it?
International award. This award is to recognize those members of IGRA who have made contributions to IGRA worthy of special recognition. Contribution can be in any of the activities that IGRA encompasses. And board of directors select recipients. IGRA will cover costs for no more than 5 awards.
Okay. So, again, is there anybody who has a question about a particular person on the list that they need more information about, or are you prepared to mark the ballot? So Sam and Robin, if you'll collect ballots and tally. What I need is I need the top 5 vote getters. Hello? Top 5 vote getters. If there's any tie in the 5th place, I need to know about it. Otherwise, just give me the names of the top 5. So I can tell us we've got a decision. Hey, Ron, when we do this next week, let's move this voting higher in the agenda so that it's, you know, you can get time. I think we have plenty of time to, deal with all that stuff. Just going from here and then has everyone marked and returned their ballot? Now?
Did everybody? Once, twice?
The ballots are folded and put in this.
I'm gonna mark that one as a tally sheet. Since the only other business is the announcements, we'll go ahead and proceed through that, realizing that there's the possibility we may have some additional business yet to transact. We'll hold our host association CGRA to the end. TGRA.
Really more announcements. I know there's a couple of IGRA fundraisers coming up next month, August, middle to end of August. We have me, Mary, and Madison are doing one at Hidden Door in Dallas, and then Jason has one coming up next week.
I have to look at a schedule.
I think yours is next week. That's a couple of weeks. Jason has one there in Fort Worth, Club of Reflections. So if anybody's in town or close, come on over and watch our Facebook. We'll be posting posters and invites.
Thank you, Terry. GSGRA.
We'd first like to thank CGRA for hosting the meeting today, and again, Roger for fixing us a nice lunch. We appreciate that. The Best Buck of the Bay is coming up September 9th through 11th, and they've just announced $2,500 in added prize money to help bring along some folks, because Sacramento's following us the next weekend, so it's a good time to come up and spend a whole week in the Bay Area. Beautiful weather, and I forgot what the other thing was, so thank you.
Thank you, Bronte. AGRA.
AGRA also thanks Colorado for today, this weekend's event, and for lunch, and our preparation for our next rodeo in February is well underway. Still trying to streamline and make it easier and better for all for our limited rodeo, and we're getting better at it. Made some changes this year, so that's where we're at.
Thank you, Bob. OGRA.
Wow, there's so much excitement going on. First, we'd like to thank Colorado. Thank you for the great food. Appreciate it. We finally got in contact with our tax name change people, and we had to send some minutes in, but it looks like that's going to be approved. But then he said, oh, come back here in 2 weeks because we're going to change you to C3 instead of a C4. So that process is still going on, so everybody knows where we are in the process of the name change. Other than that, some great things just happening. Excitement spreading all the way up into Tulsa. We're doing Tulsa events, Oklahoma City events. Rodeo's going crazy in Oklahoma. So just like us on Facebook. It's going to be a great time to see where it goes.
Thank you, Frank. In MGRA. NMGRA?
Oh, thank you. Of course, we have our rodeo coming up in about a month, I think. Santa Fe, the city's very supportive again this year. City of Santa Fe is one of our biggest supporters. This year we're honoring the head of the tourism department. Last year we honored the mayor of the city, who's gay and cute. He's married now, by the way.
That's never stopped me.
And hope you all come out.
Brian, thank you to NMGRA for extending the invitation to the board meeting next year. We look forward to joining you.
Look forward to it.
NSGRA.
I just want to say thank you to CGRA for hosting us this weekend, and thank you to everybody who has supported us in preparing for our rodeo this year, particularly CGRA and Red River and AGRA. Stepped up and did things for us with cash, and that makes a big difference. I can say that through the excitement that those three associations generated, I personally believe that we I got an email just a minute ago, we had got our last buckle sponsored, all of our buckles will be sponsored this year, which means we made some money on the buckles and we won't have to pay for any, so. And if you have not done a rodeo before in that capacity, you know that you don't understand how much money that buckle sponsorships can generate for the organization. I didn't until I did this with them. So thank you very much. We look forward to seeing many of you in a couple weeks up there. It's going to be warm, but we'll be there. And we seem to have some excitement. We've actually had some ticket sales already, so that was kind of strange, but we dealt with it. But thank you.
Thank you, Gene. DSRA, Lisa.
Well, thanks for Colorado for sponsoring this meeting, hosting the meeting. Rodeo in the Rock is next April, and now we're having another board meeting. We're just tickled to death. We also would like for y'all to consider DSRA at the convention, for a convention. And also, just to let you know that DSRA helped a fundraiser raise $10,000 for Orlando, and we're pretty proud of that. And we felt the loss too. So anyhow, that's it.
Thank you, Lisa. ASGRA.
IGRA is probably about 48 people strong right now, and we're growing. IGRA has, in the past few years, converted from rodeo, because we don't have money, to social events. And we do things like a barrel race. We do things, charity events. We do campouts. But the truth is, IGRA is starting to ask the right questions. What do we need to put on a rodeo? How much money does it take? How many volunteers? Those are extremely important questions, and the entire board is asking them. I'm proud of that.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah. Done.
Thank you, Tom. NGRA?
We relinquished our date to Palm Springs this year, or for 2017 rather. And we are still scoping out different venues, and the plan is to get back on the calendar in 2017, but probably later in the year, so that's why we didn't submit an application today. We're working on, I think our application for 501c3 status has been submitted, so we're hopeful that will come back. And of course, we'll have finals in Vegas and University in Vegas. Hope to see you all there.
Thank you, Guy. RRA.
We want to thank CGRA for hosting this, and also Red River's decided we're going to host a silent auction while we're at the Minnesota Rodeo. I'm going to donate a bunch of buckles. We have a bunch of great silent auction items from our last thing that didn't go. We had too many things in our last fundraiser. So we're going to help them out, and all the proceeds will go to them.
Very good. Thank you. FGRA.
Thank you very much, CGRA, for hosting. We just did our first barrel event back in May, and it was a lot of fun. And it ended up being mostly the straight community. It gave us a really good chance to let ourselves be known in a different part of Florida than we have been before. And money-wise, it wasn't a whole lot, but it was the first time we'd done it. We gained a lot of experience and got our name out there, so we're going to try to do some more things like that. We have an annual meeting in 2 weeks, and it's going to be a brand new board, except for me, and hopefully lots of new young blood.
Thank you, Bob. SCCGRA.
Okay, well, our rodeo's still on track. We just had a very good, successful fundraiser, which was a fireworks stand. We sold a bunch of fireworks so they could blow them off. So with that completed, we looking forward to a great rodeo. It's a week after the Bay Area, which is September 9, 10, 11. I hope it should be good.
Thank you, Marilyn. SGRA.
Thank you to CGRA for hosting us this weekend, and Roger, thank you for lunch. And wish everybody a good weekend, be safe, and see you down the road.
Alan from Cotton State did not arrive, is that correct? Michael, Keystone.
Okay, thank you, Colorado, for hosting and the lunch. Keystone is still looking to do a rodeo in next June, weekend of 24th to 25th. They are actively working on that, and they're finding out it's a lot of work to do your first rodeo in a big way. We're doing trail rides. We've even partnering up with IGRA later in the year to do a trail ride close to where the two groups come together. We participated in several Pride events, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Harrisburg, and Reading. Our 501c3 paperwork is in the process of being done. We're having to make some minor tweaks to the bylaws in order for the 501c3 to hopefully process smoothly. August 20th, we have the Road to the Rodeo fundraiser. We've got most, if not all, of the IGRA royalty coming up, it sounds like. Looking forward to that. And Bruce will be coming up on that weekend. That's going to be at the 704 Lounge in Harrisburg. And that is it.
Thank you very much, Michael. I saw a hand, Frank.
I have a couple of announcements. There are several new pages on the website. One of them covers the technical and setup requirements for a convention. Another one for board meetings. And there's one which is probably not of much interest to most people, but it explains how the convention document system is running. In the last few weeks, I've decided to donate the server and other equipment that I've been using at conventions to IGRA, so that I will maintain hold of the material until such time as I drop out of IGRA. At that point, that equipment will become IGRA property. It's fairly straightforward to use, and I'm in the process of writing a document that explains exactly how to use it, and it should be good unless somebody drops it and physically breaks it. It should be good for 15 to 20 years.
Before we visit our last association, Brian, you had your hand up.
May I make a non-IGRA announcement?
Sure. Well, not knowing what it is, go ahead.
It's related to gay rodeo, but not IGRA.
Go ahead.
The Gay Lesbian Rodeo Heritage Foundation made contact recently with the Smithsonian Institute. The Smithsonian Institute, which isn't really a museum, it's a series of museums, is finally, after many, many, many years, being a very conservative museum organization, interested in pulling together the story of gay rodeo in the United States and Canada. And the Gay Lesbian Rodeo Heritage Foundation, whose mission it is to promote historical projects, etc., is allocating some funds towards the project. And the project looks like it's going to take a couple of years to complete, with a induction ceremony into the of objects, donated objects, memorabilia, etc., a limited amount. In a couple of years, they do a big sort of induction ceremony in Washington, D.C. So this project will culminate, rather, in a ceremony, possibly some sort of other celebration in Washington, D.C. in 2018. So I just want to inform you about that. It really is a major step forward in, I think, LGBT history, because again, the Smithsonian has never really been interested in the gay world, and they now have sort of changed their opinion, and their specific focus is one of their specific focuses, they want the story of Gay Rodeo to be told. And as they say, they're in the forever business, which means they want our history to be forever held at the Smithsonian with other worthy projects. So I'll keep you posted on that. Bruce and I have had a couple of conversations about it. And as it develops, I'll let you know how it goes.
Thank you, Brian. I really do want to get to our last association. Tom?
I'd like to make a comment and a question. The comment is, and I'm not beating Brian up, it's not the Smithsonian Institute, it's the Smithsonian Institution. That's what James Smithson did when he gave the U.S. the money to build this museum. But, love Brian, but it's extremely important that many of us work on exactly what to display. It has to tell the story. Has to. Okay, that's my comment. My question is totally unrelated. Where are we in 501c3 steps?
That was reported earlier. The CPA has an appointment with our committee for a teleconference call on Tuesday in order to get their part of the application process completed and working. So, yeah. All right. CGRA.
Welcome to Colorado. Glad that y'all could make it, even though I hear some folks had some gas trouble out in the middle of nowhere. Do y'all not use gas? Nobody lives on that side of the state, so they don't really need it out there. We have a pretty packed weekend planned. Lots of things going on. Remember, tonight registration starts at 5 o'clock here on the grounds for contestants. After that, we have some parties planned at the bars downtown. Tomorrow night there's a show after the rodeo planned at Charlie's, as well as one planned at the Compound. So you can choose which bar you'd like. If you'd like some information on those, what the difference is between those two bars, see me privately, and I can fill you in. But it should be a good weekend. I think we had, David will tell me if I'm wrong, 64 pre-registered contestants, 65? 67. Wow. So we're anticipating 90 plus as per the norm. So we're looking forward to it. The registration at 5, barrel race starts at 6 if you're in the barrel race. Come register early. And I think that's about it for us. Welcome to Colorado. If you need anything, let me know, or let any of our board members know.
Thank you, Raji. The results of the voting for the International Award resulted in one undisputed first place vote and a 5-way tie for second. In the past, when this has occurred, there has been a motion to grant the award to all of the tied recipients.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Tom, or not, excuse me, I thought I heard you say it, but I saw his hand. Which one am I getting?
Second.
Okay, well, we'll go with you for the nomination and you for the second. Any discussion on the motion to award 6 international awards to the top 6 voters? There being no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes, and these 6 people will receive the international award. That concludes the business of this board of directors. Guy, are we taking a break or are we going to grab?
Well, I was gonna call the meeting to order, but then we'll go on recess. But what we could do, maybe not as orderly, but we have a vacancy on the executive board for the Division 2 chair that was vacated by Rob Summers. So if you guys, the 4 of you, are all here, right? If we could take a 15-minute break, and on that 15-minute break, you guys could caucus and elect Division 2 vice chair.
It is 2:10, and we will adjourn the meeting of the board of directors, and the board of trustees will convene at 2:25.
We drove. I have racism, butterfly, finger five.
Well, easy for you to say.
Goes bar,
We will not
goes
list
away,
them on these.
and I
Well, and I just sent you a new request.
I have 3 to ride.
You know,
I ain't got no
everything
paper.
happens. No, I went slower, I wanted to review articles for the horses. I'm gonna write 1 or 2 of these articles. Anybody else was
Back when it was a double
Well,
train.
maybe before those, we write 2 new ones.
We'll make sure we
All right, I'll see you later.
Gotta be done.
Apparently in Arkansas there is.
Somebody else did.
Thinking about skipping Austin.
That's
too far to drive. Traffic sucks.
It'll be a little rocky when you get there. But eventually. Just know that there's people who support you.
That's right.
Know what you're
We can have our support. All right. Well,
I did that for you. Thanks for having
Well, isn't that the one we were Oh, really? It was right in the
That's fine.
Well, this is it, right?
Well, there's so much that happened right there all of a sudden.
That's where I've got everything else.
I've been trying to call
Tried to get every report. I didn't get it.
Just enough time to warm up, well, a little bit
I don't mean to beat you up.
They're good. Joe's good. Saddles up.
Really?
Next time I did it,
You're still drinking?
got everything to me as soon as he was. Did you go home expecting? University.
You're not signed up.
She fell down and broke her arm. 2 days before. We had before she had her was so
You still didn't miss too?
Initially,
They probably love it.
Initially, they don't like the sound of that. Now it's like
As a bill that's they've ever.
All the stuff that you're sending is,
Yeah. We have rapids. I just make sure it's good. I've seen two customers.
that's the other reasons with your FTP account. They get your real.
Well, that's right, but if he's expecting us to.
No.
Because I've seen it before where somebody came up
Because he does.
hunting around for
Some of our stuff.
When you ask him what his role should be, they have.
They do. I think yes.
Hey, no, you were from Keystone.
Yeah.
Rather than get their
I mean, she's like,
Yeah, I don't just, we'll work.
Sure. So now we have to make sure that. Oh, no. Okay. Take care of
Okay. So you're there all the time. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely, he's good. Bet, I don't have to, just to tell you.
Okay.
Sure.
Whatever money that you make. Making a check.
Well, she was at a horse show, I guess, for a long time, and like, nobody could get a hold of her. So they- she didn't post anything, yeah.
So I saw Tommy has a bunch of.
Sure they're ready.
Yeah, they're all.
So are there red ones up there?
Yeah, they're doing that.
How big of a, how big of orders are How big?
Which is sometimes.
About once a year I order about 100.
I just get probably get those back.
You expect more from your.
Just a little go.
To me, that's frustrating.
I remember you make sure I get a bid. It's through work. I remember.
So that's frustrating.
It's when I have to pull back and stuff.
When they take their. I just think it helps.
Yeah, that's easy.
Sure. But the year that the Queen died, yeah, because we had 22. Yeah. He was definitely on the search, even though he wasn't in charge of it.
Oh, yeah, people listening to it, yeah, that's very true.
Really?
I know it's great. I think they'd be very happy about that. Yeah, really.
Send you an email. Who you are, what you need to tell minimum 4 paragraphs, preferably something more than that.
And I really don't know where. They'll pass words. Numbers.
Whatever.
No problem.
Try to make it.
Okay.
I don't do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, no, I don't, but.
Yeah, no.
Oh, you do some one way, yeah.
AT&T and Threat Track is
security. Well, that's part of the way to
Bob said he'd be on. Score. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, no.
Okay.
Yeah. 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 But let's talk some more later. You're not.
I'm not alone.
Are you an official?
It'd be easier to stay here.
Okay, I'm not.
I'm gonna find my agenda.
Yes, I can't get to it on my phone.
Oh, I saved it on my iPhone.
Haven't been able to call more than I.
Are you staying over there now?
Yeah.
Well, now you tell me.
And here's the one for guests. And I have roll call here too.
You're able to interpret the ballot easily, right?
It didn't quite be expected.
I'm surprised it was a 5-way tie for something.
Well, yeah.
Sure.
I've done my star roll call, I'll add now whoever and another one for you guys, just so you know, good questions.
So you want me to do the roll call?
No, I have a roll call.
Oh, you're gonna do it? I'll just send this around.
Those are signing sheets.
Alright.
I'm gonna do my
I was
job.
trying to figure it out.
I'll do my job.
Where's that gavel? Yeah.
I don't know.
Right? I call the meeting of the Board of Trustees to order at 2:25. Ron's gonna do the roll call, the sign-in sheets. There's a sign-in sheet for trustees and alternates going around, and then there's a sign-in sheet for guests underneath.
Bob Pimentel.
Here.
Tom Lott. Here. Roger Japp. Here. Alan Thomas. Lisa Smith.
Here.
Barbara Bug.
Here.
Bruce Roby.
Present.
Joy DeCiccio, Michael Norman,
Here.
David Holt's not here tonight. Guy Puglisi,
Here.
Brian Helander,
Here.
Gene Frakes,
Here.
Franklin Thompson,
Here.
Candy Pratt,
Here.
Merlin Jackson,
Present.
Chuck Browning,
Present.
and Terry Covington.
Present.
Okay, there's definitely a quorum.
Okay, so the first thing, is the election, we had a caucus for the election of the Division II Vice Chair. And my understanding that was Roger Jack.
Thanks, Roger.
So welcome.
Roger.
Roger, you know you have another meeting after this now.
I heard. In your free
Welcome
time.
aboard.
So the next thing is the approval of the minutes from the pre and post from Dallas Rodeo, Palm Springs Rodeo, and Oklahoma City Rodeos. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve those as a package.
So moved. Second.
Terry, moved. Michael, second. Any discussion on those minutes? Hearing none, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries, minutes are. I don't believe there's any old business. Does anybody know of any old business? New business, I'm gonna take this out of order. And I'm gonna go down to, let's see, certification recommendations, turn that over to Ron.
Rock has two recommendations for certification today. Both have met all requirements. The first is for Michael Norman for certification as auditor. And we had, as you remember before, set some special requirements for that, and he exceeded those requirements. Do you want me to do both of them at the same time? Or?
I don't think we should.
No. Okay, so for, the first is for Michael Norman to be certified as auditor.
Okay, so the Rock Committee has brought forward a recommendation for certification for Michael Norman as IGRA auditor. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries.
Abstain.
I didn't call for abstentions. You can be abstinent later. Congratulations, Michael.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Go ahead.
The second one is, second recommendation is to certify Sam Polk from FGRA as scorekeeper. He too, again, has met all requirements and exceeded the minimum requirements.
So the committee has a recommendation for Sam Pope to be certified as a scorekeeper. Any discussion?
What's his last name?
Pope,
P-O-L-K.
Okay.
Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Welcome, sir. Okay. That's it?
That's it, two.
All right, so let's do the trustees award, and then while the ballots are going around, we can take care of the rest of the business.
Do you need the definition ready for that?
That would be, some of us forget what the hell we're doing.
Trustees Award. This award is to recognize those contestants of IGRA who have exhibited excellence in the standards exemplified in the Code of Ethics and Sportsmanship. Trustees select recipients, and IGRA will cover the cost of no more than 5 awards, as written in the rules.
And we had 9 nominations?
10.
10.
Oh, wow. But it could turn out somebody like international. Want me to distribute ballots now?
Sure.
Jason, you want to help me do?
While Ron's passing
Only
those-
to trustees we're giving.
While Ron's passing those out, Tom,
What does one of the awards cost to make?
$25.
How much?
About $22 to $25.
I think they were more like between $30 and $40.
It's
Yeah.
Okay, so the other items of business we need to take care of is we need a checklist, trustee and shadow, a rodeo review trustee and shadow, and a safety trustee. Do we have any volunteers before we do the volunteers? Tom?
Forgive me, I will stop talking, but at convention last year, I brought up the information to put in the bylaws that we need a safety trustee. It never cleared the committee. They said that's part of the checklist responsibilities, and they turned me down. So, just a comment, but it should have been passed.
Oh,
Can I make a comment?
sure.
What Tom is saying, I agree, it's very confusing, and the only reason I put it on this agenda is because Palm Springs, there was a safety trustee, some areas there is, some there not, and I just think the trustees should start to be consistent on that, if you are gonna do it or if you're not.
I agree.
The only reason I put safety trustee or here is because there was one at Palm Springs, and some rodeos, there is, some there not, and it would make sense if the trustees would start to be consistent
Well-
in either doing it or not doing it.
Yeah.
So I'll give the background on that for those, I mean, we were at Palm Springs, so I had stopped doing it because of what happened at convention. But then it was expressed that we decided to do it, so the trustees wanted to continue to do it. So then we started doing it
And
again.
that's-
So we've been doing
Yeah.
it since.
Which was only one rodeo.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to fill out my ballots and I got paused, but I still haven't heard any volunteers for,
To
we
do
have
what?
plenty of trustees.
Oh, you want me to do checklist again?
If you're volunteering, I can just.
Sure, I'll do
put
that.
your name down there.
That's good.
Anybody willing to help Frank?
If nobody else wants to, I'll do safety again.
Sure. Thank you, Brian. Rodeo review?
I'm only here one day.
Don't all jump at once.
Roger, what are you doing this weekend?
Working.
What about you?
So. Practice. I've done it. I did the checklist here last year. I'm not doing it again.
This is rodeo review you're talking about.
I know, I know. What are you working on, Roger?
My actual job, I have to be at work Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, you're real good. Thank you for paying.
So I'll be in and out when I can escape. So I won't be here consistently is what I'm saying.
Andy.
What do you need?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, is it for the review?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do review.
Thank you. So anybody willing to help Frank? Okay, Frank, if you need anything, I'm willing to assist you. So I need a review person now. If we don't get a second one, I guess we just won't have one. So I guess we just won't have. So Candy, it's all you.
Okay, it's all good. Y'all won't find the bodies.
I know a lot of places to hide them.
Maybe we won't have any.
Huh.
All right, so is there, while they're counting those ballots, I think that's everything we had for new business. Does anybody have anything else? Right.
I have some new business. At Zia Rodeo this year, we're trying something a little bit different. And we are trying to have an evening performance on Friday and an evening performance on Saturday. That will impact how we do registration. And if there's any questions about it, I'm happy to address those now. The fundamentals of the evening performance is those people following this rodeo. It's sort of like organized volunteerism. Following this rodeo, in standing order in each event, people will be asked to participate in the evening performance. The goal is to just have a few people. It doesn't have to be, it could be 3 barrel racers, 3 pole benders, 5 chute doggers. Something to just put on a little mini rodeo in the evening. The underlying reason for doing so is because the New Mexico crowd, and I believe crowds in general, don't want to come and sit in the stands from all day long anymore. They want to come in, have a fun, party, and go. So we're going to have a little mini rodeo in the evening, and then a dance and entertainment following. Then the next day we'll have slap on both days, Saturday and Sunday. Questions?
I'll be first. I was thinking about that after, because this came up briefly in Palm Springs, and then I didn't hear details until much, much later. Is this something that we should be doing a variance for?
Well, it is, however, it's too late to do a variance, to the best of my knowledge.
Why does it require a variance?
Random draw. Random draw.
We're willing to take the fine if necessary, whatever it is. We believe that this is the way that we can salvage our rodeos, butts in the seats, and we've discussed it, and we're willing to, if it results in a fine, we're okay with that. We are going to, again, make it voluntary. We're not going to force anybody to participate in the evening. But there are some benefits to it. If you want to do a variance, fine.
Gene, and then, wait, Gene, check.
If New Mexico's okay with the fine, there's no reason for me to say anything about that. I could care less. And I do get and understand exactly why you're doing it. But my question is about the volunteerism. Are you going to allow anybody to volunteer, or are you going to only accept certain volunteers?
Nope, we're going to start at the top after the standing. So let's say, for example, barrel racing. Okay?
I got you now.
So, for example, in barrel racing, let's say, Roger, you guys are the highest ranking barrel racers. Roger's the highest ranked barrel racer. We'll say, Roger, do you want to perform Saturday night, 5 to 9? Next, do you want to perform Saturday night?
Absolutely.
Fine, so you're in. You're next, it's your choice. Do you want to be in the performance, yes or no? And so on. If we have to go to the bottom of the list, we'll do so. If we don't have any barrel racers, it's okay. The crowd won't know any differently.
Yes. But when are you going to stop going through the list, I guess is my question.
As soon as we get
I'm not a
five.
ranked barrel racer, so I'll not be on that list, so I will not have the opportunity to do the event in the evening performance.
Unless one of the top 5 don't.
Chuck.
Who?
Chuck.
I got you.
Yeah, you had your hand up.
Okay.
There's a list.
So David, just remind me, when Denver did something kind of similar, they kept the randomness of it because they just did the people that were going in this one, et cetera, so the variance.
Right, we
here is
had a
that
random
because
draw
it's
and we just cut
selected.
it off. But I can understand what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
It's done in most pro rodeos.
Yeah.
Whether there's a fine or not, I don't care. They will go in a random draw, you know, it won't be Roger, whatever, unless you want it to be in that specific order. I was thinking it would be random per and slack for no better.
Well,
So
our-
if they ask for 10 barrel racers and the 10 highest ranked barrel racers are put into that, then you would random draw from that. That would still keep it as a random draw.
Right.
Does that comply to our rules?
I have your name down, Chief. Candy?
I had asked this question, you were gonna ask Will, I wanna know, because of, one rodeo being one day and the rest of that rodeo being the next day, how do they guarantee the placement of everything being the same?
It's an excellent question. The arena grounds are a PRCA grounds, and the barrel pattern is staked.
That's one event, you got
Yep.
multiple events.
The last pole will be staked and measured from there, and the fences will be marked with stakes.
Okay.
So, because the barrel pattern is staked with metal stakes, and secondly, the arena has a system whereby if we lose the stake, they can triangulate and find the stake in about 2 seconds.
Yeah, and, I mean, well, in prior rodeos, they didn't use those, but you are gonna use the stakes.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Okay.
May I make a motion?
No. Yes.
I would like to make a motion that IGRA not be fined for changing their venue. Changing their running order.
I don't think that's, I think a point of order, that's asking for a rule to not be enforced. You can ask for the fine to be waived after the fact, if it's issued, and then you can come and ask for it to be waived, but I don't think you can make a motion to tell us to violate our rules.
I think I can, I really do.
Okay, well, I'm just voicing my opinion, I think it's.
Parliamentarian.
Is it a standing rule or a rodeo rule or a bylaw?
The random draw is a rodeo rule, I think.
The only thing that you may set aside is a standing rule of order. And a rodeo rule is not such and cannot be set aside in anticipation of something.
May I just say, we are completely fine with getting the fine and coming back for discussion and asking for that fine to be rescinded by vote of the board. We're happy to do that. I appreciate your thought, Tom, in advance, but we are.
Understood.
Michael.
I was going along what David was saying, if the performance has a random draw and the slack has a random draw, I would have thought that the requirement of a random draw taking place would be satisfied, so there would be no need for a fine.
The random draw is based on the performance, not slack and performance as far as the event for that day. The go is what the random draw rule is based on, the go.
Okay, the go starts on Friday night and the go will not finish until the end of Saturday.
Right, so all those contestants should be in the random draw.
They are. And-
At the same time.
Oh.
I don't know if it specifies that.
Well,
I didn't think it got that, to that level of detail, but.
You have to have a way to be able to do both things simultaneously because your rules allow for both. So you have to find a reconciliation.
I'll let you go now because this is your thing.
I just want to remind everybody, we did do this one time at World Gay Rodeo Finals also. So it's not, we're not reinventing the wheel. We did this at a finals, I don't know what year, David.
And I believe we went in slowest to fastest order also,
Yeah,
but we got there.
We will let you all know how it works in terms of drawing a crowd out of the city to come and sit for 2 hours rather than 8 hours.
The rule doesn't get that specific, Chuck. It absolutely doesn't, but at least since I've been around, when we talk about performance and slack, it was as simple as a line draw on the go sheet, on the running word. This is slack and this is performance. But that list was generated all at once. I mean, and I do remember the finals though, and that was a variance, I do remember that. But my concern is only that we're not giving everybody, that we're going to not do a random draw as I understand it, so this is my concern, as I understand a random draw, and we're not giving everybody the opportunity to run or do the event when they want to, because we're talking about an evening performance versus the next day, daytime performance, which that next day it may be pouring down rain. I have a hard enough time when it's dry. So if I know it's gonna rain on Saturday, I'd sure as heck like to go Friday night. And so I think it gives an unfair advantage to simply the people who are ranked. And we have two different ranking systems, and so that wasn't determined in what's been said about which one of those systems we're going to use. Is it gonna be the world points, or is it gonna be just our regular points? So that's my only concern, is that it puts the events going on in the possibility of very different conditions. It happens still when it's all run at once, because it can start pouring down rain in the middle of the event. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we would be generating that type of a situation. If everybody had the option to go in the evening and only the people who went in the daytime, then it'd be fine, but we don't, and I'm shutting up right now.
I remember the promise earlier.
I know, and I didn't.
Tom left. Tom, you had your hand up again, I wrote you down.
Just couldn't do it.
My hand up was for
I
something
almost
that's
made it.
different than the discussion. Where will registration be?
Well, it was part of the session.
For which rodeo?
No, here. Is
Oh,
it in this room?
You had to wait.
Okay.
You're out of order. Michael Norman?
My understanding is that the running order is going to be set for the first go, and we're simply going to put a line through. And so literally, whatever number of people run on Friday night, we just stop. All the officials will have the same paperwork the next morning, and we pick up where we left off. The only difference is those first people that go Friday night will be determined by a random draw based on where they're placing at this point in the year. But there's not a different running order. We're doing the one running order and then just putting the people in performance up at the top.
That's how they're picking the pools. If you're gonna run on random draw this pool versus this pool, it's how those pools are determined, not by entry. No, it's a hand pick.
We're looking for five. We're looking for 5 people, starting with rankings after standings, not rodeo finals, because that's related to money. Standings after this rodeo for the next rodeo. And if I may just make another comment, just left my head.
Now you're listening.
So, I'm gonna try to wrap my head around this. Your registration's gonna take place at what time?
On Friday sometime. I'm not
Friday
sure-
at noon,
not sure.
according to the website.
Noon to 3. Must be
Noon to 3.
Noon to 3.
No, in the afternoon early, according to what the information I have from Will, I think
Noon to
it's
3, yeah.
noon to 3 o'clock.
We are gonna try to have everybody volunteered into the evening performance way in advance of registration. So people who are gonna be running Friday evening and Saturday evening are going to know well in advance that they're running Friday evening or Saturday evening.
And that's gonna be based on pre-registration information?
No, that's gonna be based on randoms. So, as soon as we finish with this rodeo, the people start to register. Let's say Roger registers, he's ranked 1 and 2. We'll ask Roger, do you wanna run on Saturday night? No. Then we move to the next.
So you're reaching out to them to basically register for your rodeo?
Well, as the registrations come in, we are gonna ask people to register as quickly as possible if they're planning to come to our rodeo, just to help us out with it. If they don't, we'll still follow the same procedure until the close of registration.
And you're gonna have a full staff of officials and all that stuff, they know what?
It's probably a double set of officials in some cases, yes.
So there'll be no requirement for a new contested meeting on Friday night. The new contested meeting can still be Saturday morning.
Could be though, there could be a requirement for it.
It could be a half an hour
Not
after
likely.
registration closes.
If there is, we'll do it.
Terry?
So the 5 people, are they gonna run both Friday night and Saturday night?
No.
Or is it
No.
gonna be 5 different?
No, there'll be different people for, the idea is Saturday night is the big event. So we'd like to see the top ranked people running that, during that time. Friday night is sort of like the second big event, so we'd like to see the 6 to 10 people running at that time, if they want to. And they can choose to run barrels on one night and poles the next day, for example.
So Friday night's the only nighttime?
Friday and Saturday.
Oh, there is a Saturday.
Yes. Green.
So it would be 2 in one day.
The idea is that we're trying to appeal to the audience and create a fun, quick show, understanding that most people today don't want to come and sit from 10 o'clock till 5 o'clock to see, you know, what we enjoy, but not what they enjoy. They don't want to see 25 pole benders go and then 25, you know. That's not a show for, and we're trying to save our rodeo.
I thought you told Candy what?
I know, but I have to.
Okay.
Oh, I just have a question though, is it, again, I'm gonna say I get it, but if that's the reason, why can't you just draw the line at the 5 that come up in the random draw? If it's strictly because of to make it more appealing, why can't you just have the random draw and draw the 5?
I'll answer that, because we don't want to force anybody who can't come on Friday to come for the Friday night performance. We want to make it voluntary. Hey, I can be there Friday night, I'm coming from Albuquerque, I'm happy to be in your performance. There you go. But we don't want to say, here's the random draw, Gene, you must be here Friday by 6 o'clock to go. When really, you're gonna get off work and then you're gonna come to the rodeo and you can do all your stuff in Slack the next day. So we don't want to force anybody into a Friday or Saturday evening performance. At the same time, trying to balance that with a performance for the audience.
Yeah, okay. My comment is, we are IGRA, we're not the association. We should not try to micromanage them. Let them put it on the way they want to do it. And if you want to fine them, we'll rough the fine afterward. But don't tell them how to run their rodeo.
Bob and then Roger.
Well, my comment was kind of the same as Tom's. Those of us that are trying to put on rodeos and find different ways to get butts in the seats and everything, it's challenging as time goes on and as we go along the line here. So I say, give them the opportunity to show us a different way that we can do this. And maybe it'll work for some of the rest of us and maybe it won't. Or maybe it'll spur some other type of activity that would help us in the future. But instead of just doing the same old year after year, I think trying something is worth it.
Roger? We're batting 3 for 3 for the last 3 comments, because I was gonna say the exact same thing. We're sanctioning their rodeo, we need to be mindful to allow them to run their rodeo. Yes. And I appreciate the rule. I was the rodeo director when we did it here in Denver, and I remember Bruce Ruby screaming at me at registration because we were trying to separate the slack and the performance. Not screaming, but pointedly talking. And I guess my only question would be, and it's just in the care of our officials, would be to if you're going to not expect everyone to be a Friday registration, are you going to then have a second registration on Saturday?
We are.
Okay. Well, as long
We've
as
kind of
it-
been, we've kind of been reassured by David and others that they've got, you know, a pretty good beat on how the registration would go. Is that?
I didn't know that. That's the first I heard as secretary that there were gonna be 2 registrations.
Surprise!
Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about right now.
No, Will had talked to me about registration, but he never said 2 separate ones, because if there's 2 separate ones, how do we know how much money?
Or you don't pay it until the end.
Well, we don't pay it
anyway,
till the
but-
end, but,
That's not on the calendar. Nobody has said anything to the person who posts the schedule about a Saturday.
It's not worthy of this meeting. I was just, it was a thought that came to my little brain.
I think probably as we currently do, if somebody is unable to make registration on Friday night, if they contact and make arrangements, et cetera, when they get in, they'll get the numbers, sign their documents, that it's, they should be fine. The person that's in that
And
situation
if they don't
knows-
show up, they owe the money anyway.
Right. If that person is in that situation, they probably are not going to accept the offer to run on Friday night. So they really wouldn't need anything for that except for those individuals.
We are gonna really ask the contestants, if you're gonna come to our rodeo, we need your help to get registered as quickly as possible so we can go through all of this stuff, look at all these bugs, let Ron know what's going on, and move on.
So having everybody said all that, I'll say this, I don't know what's on the website, but I think it's imperative that this is communicated.
I've seen you post it all over the place.
This is communicated to all the officials so that everybody knows who's on first and all that, and to the contestants. And I'm not, at this point, not convinced that it does require a variance, and if a fine would be imposed, but I guess we'll have to play it out and see what happens. At first, it looked like it smelled a variance, but now I'm not certain, so. Thank you for the hearty discussion. We don't announce it, right? So we had 5 people. We didn't have a runoff or anything like that, so the 5 trustees awards will be awarded as they were voted on.
That's what I'm hearing. I'm not saying.
Tom had a question, and I think once that's done, registration, where's registration?
I have no idea where it is.
Up at the Midway. Under the main tent on the Midway.
Got it, thank you.
So unless there's an objection, I will adjourn this meeting at 2:59.
Hallelujah.
Now, the executive board of directors will meet following,
Meeting's adjourned.
and we have a short agenda.
No.
So let people who want to leave, leave.
Oh, I want one.
I get to.
Are you back to the?
Oh, okay.
Are you an
I guess we need to call this.
Shut it off.
I'm at like 31%.
Mine's been doing kind of the same. Mine is too.
Beef jerky. Find out thing about that beef jerky today.
Yeah, it's like,
We get a break.
I'll be there. It'll be the first time I can do that.
I'll I'll be there.
We'll see how many rules I can bring.
So Roger, oh, you're gonna be in this meeting, but I was just gonna remind you, so now, on the third Wednesday of every month, we don't meet in person. You've called in before.
Maybe I'll fly down though and hang out with you while we call it.
All the time, the week before.
It'll sure make it more entertaining.
Okay. I'll probably forget the first one, but.
I know where I do all the time.
I really want to.
Oh, I know.
It's just a minute. You can't. No, I bought a new car, so I can't. I could have jumped. Yeah, I really hate it. I really want to.
No, that's fine. No problem. Appreciate it. Hey, I understand I can't go to them all. One thing we might stop for is remind your treasurer. Okay, that's fine, because I just need to sign the check, but it may not be posted to
Or did they do, I know there's a bunch of discussion, I know it's been taken care of, I know there was discussion at one point
Yeah,
about.
I sent him an invoice, but that was, he contacted me direct, and I sent him an invoice, but I wanted to just make sure he had all the information, is all. And
Yeah,
I'm just
I
following.
will double check, I know I've got an email from here
That's
somewhere
fine,
about what happened.
I'm just following up on the ones that haven't showed pay yet.
Okay.
That's all. I'm not worried about it.
I thought it had already been cut, but I'm not positive.
Sorry. At the moment, to start with, there's no reason not to.
It's not fair.
If it's empty, it's empty.
It's not fair.
While you're here, would you sign up on this sheet, please?
Are you staying out here, you going back to the hotel, or? Registration's at 5 o'clock, just start getting ready, just start setting up.
Try to go to the hotel.
I was gonna bring.
That's race back.
Have you seen that new
If
site?
you are going to remain in the room as a guest to the executive board of directors meeting, please sign on this sheet.
I stayed with those guys out here in Aurora last night when I flew in.
Oh, really?
It was nice, 20 minutes from the airport, so.
Never heard of it.
It was 45 minutes. And he has a nice condo for my room, own bathroom.
Nice.
You gotta, just call me when you get in, because I'll already be in. So I called him.
Oh, God, no, I really feel bad.
If you are remaining for the executive board of directors meeting, please sign on to the guest.
Walk the tour.
Well, by golly, I will.
Check that out.
But it's only because you asked so sweetly.
It was funny, I must have sent 5 or 6 different class.
Little cream cheese on it?
Half of them weren't responding before you guys, I said, thank you, ma'am. So I'm like, you don't want to know that.
They're only looking for the twins.
Is there any people out here or something?
Of course, there's some that.
Are you gonna need a nap?
No, Brittany, wherever you go. I was thinking EPA, no meeting after this.
I don't think so. See the, I know the
Be throwing things.
hand that down to Tom, please. Well, we may add a few things.
That's the
Yeah.
trustees one.
Oh.
Are you a guest?
I'm guessing. Do I need to sign the trustees?
I guess I have to go strong, so the rest of us should wait.
Maybe you should.
Oh, is that, okay, that.
Now you have this one too. You could have confused me.
Well, what is that?
That one's for this one.
Yeah,
That's for last one.
yeah, they got.
Right?
They made you right there.
Costco, man.
I'll keep you straight, Ron, it's okay.
Mr. Japp, you're gonna be late for your first meeting if you don't sit down.
Didn't say where.
If it's gonna be like this, then you don't get a present.
For the executive board.
I think I got it.
Well, Barbara, the tablecloth all of a sudden started falling from down there.
It is 3:05 and I call to order this
Gonna breathe
meeting of
under
the
it?
Executive Board of Directors of the International Gay Rodeo Association.
Your last name, Jeff?
I would like to welcome our newest member, Roger Jack, in addition to trustee vice chair. Welcome to your first meeting on the Executive Board of Directors. At this time, I'll ask the secretary to call the roll.
Bruce Grove.
Here.
Jason Bernard.
Here.
Ron Trustley here. David Hill.
Here.
Guy Capelisi. Here. Franklin Thompson.
Here.
Barbara Bug.
Here.
Roger Jack.
Yep.
Thank you. Sounds like all present and accounted for. The first item of business is the approval of the minutes or consideration for approval of the minutes of the June 15, 2016 conference call. I hear a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
He said it
It's
was so
been
much
moved and
excitement.
seconded. Is there any discussion on the question to approve the June 15, 2016 conference call minutes? There being no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes, and those minutes are approved. As far as old business is concerned, Barbara, you have managed not to, don't go anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere.
You're right, you're going right here. Barbara, you have missed being with us for all of our little fun meetings and things like that. This is a present from our first meeting. Please pass it down to Barbara.
Oh, that was.
And Roger, this is a little welcome to you for our Executive Board of Directors. The Executive Board of Directors is charged primarily, among other things, with watching the finances of the organization. And I remind you all that we can do anything we want as long as it's within our charitable purpose and we can pay for it.
Okay, thanks. That's very pretty. I'm gonna sit
Put
down.
it on the panel.
Just throw that on the floor.
All right. We do have one item of business on our agenda, and that is consideration of nominees for the Wayne Giacchino Western Lifestyle Award. And at this time, I will ask that you take us offline, Frank. don't need attention at this time. You can take us back on, Frank, for now. Ron?
In regards to the rough stock progressing prize pool, I would like to move that, let me think, make sure I'm saying it correct. I would like to move that money that has not been won at the end of the rodeo year be carried over to the next rodeo year. Is that the proper way?
Certainly fine. We'll take that. We may have to go backward a little bit in time, take another item. The motion is that any money not awarded from the progressive prize pool at the end of the rodeo year roll into the next rodeo year. Is there any discussion on that? I do.
I'll second.
Thank you. You asked, she did it. Appreciate that. Now it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Is RMRR still the only rodeo participating?
You're the first rodeo to participate. I pointed out the fact that there'll probably be $1,000 ready to go to the next one that participates. So, any further discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion for any money remaining in the prize pool at the end of the rodeo year to roll over to the next rodeo year, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes, and that's what will happen. Now, what needs to happen antecedent to that, before that, is we need to determine whether or not we are going to commit to carrying that program into the next rodeo year.
I will make that motion that the rough stock progressive prize pool continue into next rodeo year.
And I'll second.
Thank you. We have the motion and second to do so. Is there any discussion?
They just think of ways to get more associations to do that, participate.
Absolutely, we do. I suspect that once there's a little money in the till, it'll start taking care of itself.
We will now, because it wasn't for our rodeo.
Yeah, okay. Any other discussion on that motion? None appearing, all in favor of the motion to continue the rodeo progressive prize pool in the next year, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The motion carries, and we'll do that. We'll need to do the same consideration for the other three items in order to give certitude to associations of what we're gonna do, but we may, I think, reasonably expect to handle those later in the year where we might decide whether we need to make any changes to them. But for this, I think it's very important that we go ahead and come out and say, we've made that commitment. Thank you, Ron, for bringing that to our attention today.
It's almost today.
Just feel like tonight.
Now, the only other thing that I want to bring up to us is that we've made now a decision about where to go for World Day Rodeo Finals. We have not selected the dates, and we've not made the commitments on the contracts, nor have we made any staffing and personnel decisions about that. The site has 2 dates available to us. Would you please give those to us, Lisa?
It was 13 through 15, 27 through 29.
And the 27th through 29th of October of next year. Now, obviously, we're gonna, want to get as much information together as possible, but do we have guidance we want to give to the committee as they solicit from the hotel and the venue and all that, everything between the choice of those 2 dates, which we prefer?
The important item is when's the last rodeo of the year?
We have to be 17 days after that. So on our rodeo calendar, Frank is calling it up right now.
Oh, yeah, it would be Sacramento.
Frank, what is our last rodeo date for
15 through 17 September.
And count 17 days thereafter should be the 3rd or 4th. So, okay, thank you.
So it'd be the
either
4th of
day.
October.
I have a question.
Either date fits.
I have a question on that, the list you're looking at, is that the Bug of the Bay rodeo?
Sierra.
Okay, just want to make sure, in case the Sacramento wasn't there.
17, okay.
And that was
Lisa, will you repeat the dates available to us, please?
We're looking at 27.
13 through 15 or
Yes.
27
Wait a
through
minute,
29.
13 through
that.
15?
Yeah.
Or 2017?
Yes.
That's what it says.
November?
October.
No, October for
October.
finals.
Okay.
November.
Should be October for finals.
Okay, that's fine.
All
Here's
right.
the whole, here's the
No,
whole thing.
I was on the wrong calendar.
Thank you. Oh, well, I just need to, I can't spot the one piece of information I need.
Right there.
Thank you.
15 through 17.
Or 27th to
It's 2017.
Okay, so between the 13th, the 15th, or the 27th to the 29th, do we have a preference of what we want to guide the committee in?
13 through 15.
I mean, I think,
I would say
can say
13 to
it.
15 personally.
I just, safety considerations for those traveling with trailers and horses, the towing paths can be fairly tricky to navigate late in October, beginning in November.
Okay.
And I would suggest that earlier.
And Ron, I believe I saw you were hand in the air as well.
No, I was just gonna agree with the earlier dates, because I think the earlier is better, so that convention is not so late in the year too.
Okay. So, Lisa, you have, if you'll carry that information back to the committee.
That'll be a total of-
And I would ask you to, expedite this as quick as you can in getting everything, to us contract-wise, so we can review contracts and make a commitment. And I just need 5 days advance in order to be able to get it presented for approval, okay?
Do y'all not accept this as a contract?
It's not complete, we don't have the hotel, we don't have all the pricing, we don't have everything and ready to sign.
Or you want both?
I want the whole package. We can't commit to go to an arena if we got no place to stay.
So you want our committee to pick the hotel too?
I want you to go to your source and present us what you consider to be the most viable choice and present it to us for consideration. Yes, please.
Did we pick a date?
It is nice if we stick
13
to.
through 15.
Thank you.
Okay. We have delegated Jason to liaise with the World Gay Rodeo Finals Committee to give us guidance about how we want to go about selecting the full team of directors and get people into the program for next year. And frankly, we need this,
Yesterday.
I think they're so busy working on finals right now that there really hasn't been any conversation in that direction.
Well, we need to nudge a little in that direction, because we've got to put word out there, we've got to attract candidates, we've got to be able to go through whatever process we want. And we have to be able to know what we're gonna expect of people to get through that. So, we really need to move along with that. Since much of the committee is here this weekend, perhaps we can have some informal and side conversations to help move that along. Are we ready to make any determinations with regard to any of our current people, or do we need to wait on that subject?
You mean rodeo director?
Yep.
I move Lisa Smith.
We have a motion to appoint Lisa Smith as the 2017 director. Second. There is a second. Is there any discussion on that?
Are we gonna, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Usually I thought when we did that, we got the recommendation from the finals committee and we looked at all the information, they checked on that.
We have not got an established procedure for doing this, okay? We've been working to try to figure out how we're going to do that.
Mhm.
I have conferred with the chair of the committee, whose recommendation we solicit on this topic. And he has assured me that in his view, Lisa is prepared for assuming the task, okay? We don't ask the entire committee to do that. In the years past, we've actually had them evaluate and rate one another in various things. We have not done that in this instance. Does that answer your question? Okay.
Are we back online?
Frank, are we online now?
Yes.
Will you take us off, please?
Okay.
happen.
Is there anything else that we want to discuss or handle in the Executive Board of Directors today? Ron?
I would like to ask a question, and you tell me if I need to do something or if I'm out of order, please.
Oh, good, I love that.
I know you do. It has to do with awards.
Mhm.
And I didn't want to bring it up in the whole board meeting for a lot of reasons. But there are 2 other awards that we didn't do anything on yet. And I understand last year, it never went to the board, which is in our standing rules. So I just need clarification for the 2 people on these. Media award, it says, it's done by recommended by the public PR person and determined by board of directors. The website determined by board of directors upon recommendation of Internet Technology Committee. The PR person is not ready to do anything yet. And to my knowledge, we don't have an actual Internet Technology Committee anymore.
We don't.
So are we just going to allow those 2 people to, when they're ready, give me their nomination in time to get the awards without taking it back to the board of directors?
I honestly can't remember without going back to last year's minutes to know exactly what we did. But those 2 essentially determine the award, and it does say recommended and determined by the board of directors. So,
And I think we did change that.
but because it says that now, and this is bylaws and not standing rules, correct?
No, it's standing rule.
Okay, well, it being a standing rule of order, we can choose to suspend it if we feel that it's not going to harm the, the order of things. I anticipate we're going to have a special board of directors meeting between now and then anyway. And you probably need at least 45 to 60 days out to make sure that production is done on the thing.
Well, I think if we 30 days out for 2 awards would be fine.
Okay.
Get all the rest of them in and just add those 2.
Sure. Then what I would say we should do from a practical perspective for this year is let those people know that we need them by such and such a date. If we come up with a special board of directors meeting that we know we're going to have, let's see if we can get it on the agenda for that, so that the board itself can function properly to approve those awards. And then let's bring forward a change to have those just determined by the committee itself in the future.
So you don't need a motion or want a motion to suspend these rules for now then?
For now, I don't, because I think there's ample time for us to do it according to the ordinary rule. And, it's assigned to the board of directors, so I don't want to act to have anybody but the board of directors do it without necessity.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense? And thanks for bringing that up. And this is one of the problems with having this July meeting so darn early.
Yeah.
Anything else? Yes? Barbara's aiming for the door, so.
I don't know if I zoned out earlier, but was there a report on retention?
There was not. We have not seen Mary yet to receive that.
And because Lori King is asking, she's listening.
What is she asking?
Primarily, she's looking for hotel information and if there's a shuttle for the airport. I think we had a similar conversation recently, so I don't know if there's anything online yet.
There's not yet. I gave you the room rates, and I don't know what they are, but I can't recall the answer on the shuttle.
But if you tell me the hotel, I can do that.
Wyndham Garden.
And you want to know the room?
Sure. And there's more than one Wyndham Garden, but.
Dr. Ronna has books.
I have some serious questions. Let me get past final. Wyndham Garden Hotels, Woodward Conference Center. Woodward Conference Center, 3401 South Highway 35 in Austin. And the room rate is $99 for run of the house.
And there are certain suites we'll be able to upgrade for
So that's what I want to talk to you this week.
But it'll just be for, you know, like the executive staff and stuff like that.
And the file code is IGRA.
So there you have it, okay?
File code meeting, that's-
You want the phone number too?
Sure.
512-448-2444. Or 512-443-4208.
So, wouldn't it be a good idea to get our information on the website sooner
Of course it
rather
would
than
be.
later? Because, I mean,
It should be.
Yes, yes, it would be.
That's part of what I want.
we already booked our flights. I did not.
Yes, it really should be on by now. It should be up by now.
I think we'll try.
And yeah, because the block of
5-hour
sleeping
drive.
rooms are held until 21 days prior to arrival or October 26th. That's the things I want. And
October 26th.
yes. And as far as concessions, it doesn't say anything about a shuttle that I see in here anywhere.
I know they used to until they started that big international one out there, so they moved it. And a lot of the hotels stopped their shuttle service.
That's going on a lot, but, you know, yeah.
When I lived there, they had it. They had services.
Yeah, we got shuttle.
Well, we're not going to your place right now.
She
And
forgot
we're
to
not
tell you
walking
that.
from the airport. Anything further? I appreciate you all being here today. With no further business of hearing, the Executive Board of Directors will adjourn at 3:38 PM.
Yay. That wasn't as torturous as I thought it would be.
It rarely is in this meeting.
Okay.
All right.
So here he is. About the security. I said, "Look, did this is on you, really, I did it myself. I just did a very severe problem. And the second thing, all I have to do is find the dumbest German officer.
Right down there.
Okay, you know what happens at 5 o'clock, there is gone. At 5:35, German is gone. At 6, if I can reach it, if I can't reach Rome, I'll